Welcome. This is ratios level number 4. If this at any point feels a little bit too challenging, feel free to check out ratios levels 1, 2, or 3. We also have level number 5 available, which is our most challenging. Our learning target today is I can represent ratios with tape diagrams, and I can use tape diagrams to compare ratios and solve real-world problems. Go ahead and rate yourself 1 through 5. How confident do you feel about these learning targets? 1 being the least confident, 5 being the most confident. And let's take a look at our opening problem. It says the ratio of chefs to waiters at a restaurant is 5 to 2. If there are a total of 574 workers, how many chefs are there? How many waiters are there? If you already know how to solve this problem, go ahead and pause the video and complete it on your own. If you need a little bit of support, you can write with me. So I know when we're writing ratios, the order matters. So we're talking about chefs to waiters. If chefs came first, that means chefs goes with 5 because 5 came first. Waiters came second, so waiters will go with 2. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is draw a tape diagram. I'm going to write what we're comparing, chefs and waiters. And then I'm going to draw equal size boxes for each. Chefs came first with 5, so I'm going to draw 5 equal boxes for chefs. And waiters came second. I'll draw 2 equal boxes for waiters. Now, I didn't feel like my boxes were neat enough, so I just erased them and rewrote them. That's totally fine today. We really want to work on being neat and having all of our boxes the same size. So I drew my tape diagrams. That's our first step. Our second step is to label other information from the problem. So this problem says there's a total of 574 workers. So if there's a total of 574, I can circle all of my boxes and then write 574. Now, our third step is to split up 574 equally into each box. All of our boxes will have the same number. So I'm going to split up 574 and divide it by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 574 divided by 7 boxes equals 82 per box. So I'm going to actually go in and write 82 as neat as I can in every single box. Remember, each box for both tape diagrams will always have the same number. In case this is easier to see, so we have 82 in every single box. Now we need to reread our questions and figure out how many chefs are there and how many waiters are there. Well, I could add 82 over and over again to figure out my chefs, or I could do 82 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And to figure out our waiters, I can do 82 times 2. 82 times 5 is 410, and 82 times 2 is 164. Let's take a look at our notes. Step number 1 is to draw a tape diagram, and you should be writing with me, and label the quantities in the ratio. Remember, this is especially important today too. Boxes should be lined up, the same size. Every box should be the same size and neat. So we're actually going to practice just step number 1 with the examples below, and then we'll take notes on step number 2. So let's draw tape diagrams for example A. I'm going to switch to a pencil in case I need to erase. It says the ratio of apples to oranges is 6-4. So the order matters. If apples came first, 6 came first. So I need to draw 6 boxes for apples. So I'm going to label apples and label oranges. I'm going to draw 6 boxes for apples and do my best to make them all the same size. And then oranges came second and 4 came second. So right beneath where my first box was, I'm going to draw my boxes for oranges. Go ahead and practice just this step for example B. Pause the video and then come back. For example B, you should have hamburgers and 4 boxes next to hamburgers, and then hot dogs and 3 boxes next to hot dogs. Let's take a look at step number 2 in our notes, and then we'll apply it to our examples. Step number 2, we're going to label any other information that the problem provides. So in previous levels, we were just working with the total, but now we're going to add a couple different scenarios. So in example A, it says if there are 22 more apples. This is why it's so important that your tape diagrams are neat. Okay, so if there's 22 more apples, well, I can see that there's 2 more boxes, right? There's 6 boxes for apples, 4 boxes for oranges. So to represent the 22 more, we can label these 2 boxes as 22 because we have 2 boxes more and we have 22 apples more than oranges. Great. I want you to pause the video and figure out how could you label example B? What makes sense? In example B, it says the group ate 66 hot dogs. So I can draw lines to just my hot dogs and label them 66. These 3 boxes can represent 66. Let's take a look at step number 3. In step number 3, we are going to divide to figure out the value of 1 box. All boxes will have the same number. I can't emphasize that enough. That's why they're the same size. So once you figure out the value of 1 box, you can write that number inside all of the boxes. So for example, down here, we know that this 22 represents 2 boxes. So I'm going to do 22 divided by 2 boxes, which equals 11 per box. That's that number that I'm going to write inside every single box. So go ahead and do that now. Once you have that down, I want you to pause the video and figure out what number do you think will go in every box in example B. Well, we have 66 that represents 3 boxes. So we have to split up 66 equally into 3 boxes. 66 divided by 3 boxes is 22 per box. And that makes sense because 22 plus 22 plus 22 is 66, or 22 times 3. And once you figure out the value for 1 box, you can figure out all of the boxes. If that feels a little confusing, I encourage you to just rewind and just watch that one more time. And now our last step, we are going to reread the question and answer it using your tape diagram. I can't tell you how many times students have done everything right, but then they didn't take the time to just read the question again to make sure they were answering it in the way the question wanted. So in example A, it says, how many apples were there? Well, these boxes represent our apples. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 boxes of 11. 11 times 6 is 66. So there are 66 apples. Oranges, we have 4 boxes of 11. 11 times 4 is 44. And then it says how many total fruits are there. Total is a key word for addition. You need to memorize that. So to figure out the total amount, I'm just going to add them together. And 66 plus 44 is 110. And that makes sense because if you added all of the 11s together in both tape diagrams, you'd get 110. Let's take a look at example B. I want you to pause the video, answer the question, and then come back. Example B is asking how many hamburgers did they eat? Well, I can see our hamburgers tape diagram right here. That's why it's important to label. I can do 22 times 4, which is 88. They ate 88 hamburgers. Go ahead and flip to page number 2. All right, for page number 2, I'm going to do one example with you. There's notes at the top to help you, and then you can complete the rest of the page on your own. Problem A says for every $5 DJ earns, Jake earns $3. So I'm going to stop there and just draw a tape diagram and label my tape diagram. So I'm going to write DJ earns and Jake earns. I'm going to switch to a pencil so I can make it neater. Now, for every $5 DJ earns, so I will draw 5 equal boxes. Jake earns $3. So I'll draw 3 equal boxes. Now, it's super important that your boxes are lined up. I just erased so it could be a little bit neater. All right, so we drew our tape diagram, we labeled, our boxes are neat. Now let's label other information from the problem. It says if DJ earned $88 more than Jake. Okay, so the part we can represent as more, can see, ignore the markers on my hands, but you can see that our boxes are equal here, equal up until here, and then Jake has nothing. So these boxes are more for DJ, and so we can label those 88. So we drew our tape diagrams and labeled. We labeled other information from the problem. Now we need to solve to figure out the value of one box. Well, if I know 88 represents 2 boxes, I can do 88 divided by 2 boxes, and that gives us 44 per box. Your goal is to figure out one box. Once you figure out one box, you can write that number inside every single box, even for the boxes that Jake earns. That's why we keep all of our boxes the same size, because they have the same value. All right, so now we figured out what one box, we labeled all of our boxes. Last step, we're going to reread the question and answer. How much did Jake earn? Well, can do 44 times 3, which is 132. So Jake earned $132. Complete the rest of page 2, then flip to page 3. I'm going to do one problem from page number 3, and then you'll complete the rest on your own. I'm going to complete problem B. It says, for every 2 dogs, there are 3 cats. the total number of cats is 90. So I'm going to go ahead and label dogs and cats 2 to 3. Okay, step number 1. Step number 2, it says the total is 90. Oh, the total number of cats is 90. That almost got me. So if the total number of cats is 90, I'm going to label just the cats 90. So all of these boxes will add up to 90. To figure out what goes in each box, I'm going to split up 90 equally into 3 boxes. And 90 divided by 3 is 30 per box. So I'm going to write 30 in every single box, including the boxes for the dog. So always all have the same amount. Now our last step is to reread the questions and answer them. Question A says, how many dogs are there? Well, 30 times 2 is 60. So there are 60 dogs. We already knew there were 90 cats. Question B says, how many total animals? Remember, total is a key word for addition. So I'm going to add our dogs 60 plus our cats 90. And 60 plus 90 is 150. Go ahead and complete page number 3 on your own and flip to page number 4. On page number 4, complete problem A, pause the video, and then come back. Check your work for problem A, fix any errors, and then complete the rest of page number 4. Complete A on page number 5, then come back to the video to check your work. Check your work, pause the video, and fix any errors, then complete the rest of page number 5. Page number 6. Let's look at our common misconception problem. Chelsea and Mayan each solve the problem below. Analyze each of their work, then answer the questions below. The ratio of girls to boys at the party is 2 to 5. If there are 60 more boys than girls, okay, then we have some questions down here. How many girls are there? How many boys? How many total people? And who set up their problem correctly? So go ahead and pause the video, answer these questions, and then come back. All right, so for A, who set up their problem correctly? Mayan is correct. Chelsea did not label 60 correctly. 60 should represent more boys, not a total of 60 boys. Let's look at B. B said, how many girls are at the party? There are 40 girls. 20 plus 20, or 20 times 2 is 40. C, how many boys are at the party? There are 100 boys. 20 times 5 equals 100. That says boys right there. Sorry, it's a little messy. And then D, how many total people are at the party? Well, if we have 40 girls and 100 boys, there are a total of 140 people at the party. Go ahead and check your work, fix any errors. All right, go ahead and complete the closing problem and our debrief questions. Once you've completed our closing problem and our debrief questions, go back to page number 1 and rate yourself after the lesson for each learning target. So before we practice, we rated ourselves before the lesson, 1 through 5. Now that we've gotten some more practice, how are you feeling? 1 is the lowest, the least confident, and 5 is the highest, meaning you feel like you could teach this to somebody else. If you're looking for more ratios practice, you can check out levels 1 through 3 or our most challenging level, level number 5.